Well, the table is set, and so is season 5 of The Chosen. I am very excited, where we see the people of Israel welcome Jesus into Jerusalem as king, while his disciples anticipate his crowning.
The new season comes out in March, and recently Efram Graham sat down with actor Jonathan Roumie, who plays Jesus, and gives us an inside look at what to expect in the next part of the series.
Great. All right, here we go. Cameras ready? Let's do a lineup.
So we sat here season 1. Here we sit now. Here, yeah. Right, season 5, almost in the rearview mirror. How is Jonathan feeling?
3, 2, 1.
Cry of Efram. It's at once overwhelming and inspiring, and a sense of elation, like I get to do this.
How would you describe the R, what plays out in this season for Jesus?
A steamroller, bulldozer, you know, intensity, just a melee of emotions and conflicts, climaxes of conflicts between Jesus and the authorities, climactic frustrations between Jesus and his disciples, you know, their inability to get what he's telling them within days of it happening. And so it's, there's a profound sense of love and sorrow, but also hope, knowing what's to come beyond the crucifixion. So it's a lot. It's a loaded season. It'll be the most beautiful, most complex, most intense season we've ever done, and it's going to be quite amazing.
Jesus is the one accused of these violations.
But Jesus is guilty of these infractions. We must consider drastic measures.
If you could, now that we've come so far, look back over the course of your life, your acting career, have you spotted signs that you're being prepared for this, called to this?
1000%. I mean, from the time I was 11 or 12 years old.
11 or 12?
Yeah, well, where I reenacted the Passion in my backyard after having watched Jesus of Nazareth. I built a life-size cross and painted the nails and the blood and carried it around my backyard, made a crown of thorns from some thistles. And so, you know, from that moment, the writing's been on the wall.
The beauty of people watching you is you give us the humanity of Christ.
Listen carefully, because I'm going to tell you what is about to happen.
Jesus has evolved over the course of this period we've played out so far.
We're coming to a point in the story where, you know, Jesus' humanity is on full display. He's going to become the suffering servant. The responses to that will be utterly human. You know, seeing all his friends leave him, you know, the desolation, the isolation, the despair, how they feel about him. There's a lot of the humanities getting concentrated now. I think it's like a super concentration of humanity before we see a super concentration of divinity in the resurrection.
And if we're asked to make a statement, how can we defend both his behavior and words?
For those of us who watch intimately, we all describe this project as life-changing for us. You being so heavily involved in leading it, has this changed your life?
100%. I mean, it's changed my relationship with God in that it has deepened it and profoundly and made me want to be more like Jesus in my day-to-day life, not just to play him. And I think that's what we're all called to do as believers. When you're following the principles of Christ, like, life only gets better, and the world has changed, the culture's changed, and I think at the end of the day, that's one of the benefits and impacts of what we're doing.
So thank you for that, and I hope that you're back for 2 more seasons, but that is a wrap on season 5.
Everyone knows here that I'm a Chosen fan, and I cannot wait for season 5. And as Jonathan Roumie was talking about, I mean, things are getting serious. Things are heating up. It's leading to the crucifixion. And honestly, I have a lot of respect for Jonathan Roumie. I mean, to play such a heavy role, I mean, he's not the first person to do it. But in a TV series of this magnitude, I really feel like he's really consecrated this season of his life to play Jesus and do it with integrity and honesty. And I think one of the great things that he brings to this role as well is bringing the humanity of Christ. So.
Yeah, and we've covered The Chosen for years. You've done interviews with the cast, and perhaps it was just the day Efram was with Jonathan, but he seems much more serious coming out of this season, and it's really affected him spiritually. And I've heard him share before about how when he was a young boy and he reenacted the crucifixion, and how interesting that God would choose that boy years later to portray Jesus. It's fascinating.
God had a plan. God had a plan. And I am super excited about this season. One of the things I think is so beautiful is that it's depicting, or one of the many things that it's depicting this season, is when Jesus drives the people out of the temple and he's making I don't know why, but that scene gets me excited because if you think about it, like it took Jesus to make time to make that whip. So he was, I mean, we could go into like a theological discussion about this. But anyways, that's one of the many things that I'm excited about. Obviously, they're depicting the Last Supper, which is going to be really profound. So. Well,
and certainly it's showing people that the Bible is not boring. I mean, there is drama and tension, and the character studies we're seeing, and the Bible and Scripture has come alive to so many and changed hearts in an amazing way. It's going to be a great season.
Yeah, absolutely.